Looks like it's time to do another one of these. Well, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of RJ's Reviews, where I take a look at things that interest me. And in the last video we did Game Builder Garage reviews, and that did surprisingly well for my channel. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do another episode because there have been a lot of good games that have been coming out in the past while that I've found, and yeah, I just would like to really showcase these because yeah, a lot of them seem pretty good, and yeah. But yeah, let's get right into them. Alright, so first game on today's list is Evil X Vile, a game that I featured a spin-off of in last episode. I decided to kind of come back and play the original game that the spin-off was based on because the original game was also a Game Builder Garage creation as well, so I decided I would just showcase that, and yeah. And my reaction is that it's an actually pretty good game. There's actual story, the effects were used very well, there's good, slightly challenging puzzles, it controls well, it's very well produced. So yeah, I have to give that, I mean, I without a doubt would say that is a straight 10 out of 10 from me. Hands down. I mean, the art is good, the graphics are good. For something that is created in Game Builder Garage, honestly, not much can really beat that game, honestly, in terms of quality and a lot of other things. So yeah. Alright, so our next game isn't really a game per se, it's more of a open source-ish framework for creating basically Mario Kart levels. So this one is literally called Mario Kart Engine. I'll leave a link below to where I found this game because the person who made this actually has the main code set to basically a demo track with that you can copy and edit to whatever you'd like and whatever track you'd like to have. And in the description there were a variety of other tracks that were made kind of as also demos, of which I downloaded the Rainbow Road demo. And yeah, it's a really good system. It kind of emulates the style and look of the original SNES version of Mario Kart, and by design it's not a bad engine. It's not terrible in graphics or anything else, so it does have a few problems where a few of the demos they had a bit of tight curves and the handling isn't especially good, so I think I'm gonna have to give that an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. The next game on our list is a game called Out of Time 2 Gone Dark. It is a platformer game where the intent is to kind of challenge yourself to beat it in 20 seconds. Now, I really couldn't get to that kind of level, but if you can, you can. You're not supposed to, you don't really have to beat it within the 20-second time frame. It's just one of those, it would be a lot cooler if you did kind of things. It's got a few mechanics that are pretty interesting. Most importantly, it has a system where you can slow down time for 5 seconds, which really helps towards the end where there are literal elevators that are just spinning like really fast, or are just going up and down so fast you really cannot get on them in time, and if you do, you get launched to the sky, and that happens, and you get destroyed by a lot of these things. And yeah, the only thing that I really had a problem with, aside from the fact that it was a little bit harder to kind of understand that was what the time thing was for, there's also a power-up that you can have where you can literally break certain items so you can get through and progress. It's kind of explained by an icon that appears at random points that are like that kind of depict the Game Builder Garage person's foot kind of breaking an object. They don't tell you what it doesn't tell you what button you're supposed to press in order to break the item so you can progress through the level. So that's the only problem I really noticed with the game. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to give this an 8 out of 10. I think those issues could be a little bit fixed, but otherwise it's a pretty good game. The next game in our list of games is a game called Demon in Pink, which is a kind of spin-off of Kirby. In fact, it's got a lot of Kirby characters in it. And basically, it's kind of if you made Kirby a horror game. But instead, Kirby is the enemy in this game and is very cursed. So, in fact, that's why it's called Demon in Pink. So, yeah, it's a very simple game. It's got, you're in a forest, you gotta find, like, I believe, Magalore and, DDD. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Kirby turns into some cursed thing. So, you know, yeah. It's a pretty good little game. The art is not really, I wouldn't say completely accurate to the actual Kirby universe, but the character assets are kind of close. It's very simple. It's got a pretty okayish storyline to it, and yeah, it plays out pretty well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give that a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Probably a 9 out of 10 on this one. It's pretty good. Plays real well. It's just a little, it's just not the most intriguing. It's not the easiest, but otherwise, yeah, pretty good. Alright, so the next game on our list of games is called SM64. Now, this is a reference to Super Mario 64. It's considered a remake of Mario 64, actually. And, yeah, it's not really the greatest, but what it does do, it's pretty okay. It kind of resembles what Peach's Castle looks like. In fact, that's mostly what this game is. It's kind of a recreation of Peach's Castle, but the rooms are kind of empty. They don't really have a roof, and I feel like there could have been a few more things done to kind of make it a little bit better, I guess. But at least they got a few of the pop culture references down into the game that are from the game. Namely the Ella's Real 2401 reference, which for those of you who don't know, which is kind of hard to not know, it's basically the perceived readings of an asset that appears in Peach's Castle on the fountain, on one of the fountains in Peach's Castle, and it kind of reads out to Ella's Real 2401, but it's a very pixelated image, so it's kind of hard to tell that if it is actually saying Ella's Real 2401. It kind of sparked a lot of conspiracies around the whole Nintendo world in the 90s when Mario 64 originally came out. So yeah, but otherwise, as for a review of this recreation, I'm not really going to give it a high mark. I'm probably going to give it like a 5.5 out of 10, because they tried with the references, they tried with, and the general shape of Peach's Castle is there, and all of the things are kind of noticeable. But other than that, the rest of the game, there's not really much in the way of really much else. It's kind of a bit dry in some areas, if you ask me. So I'm gonna have to kind of give it a 5.5 out of 10 on this one. So the next game on our list of games is a game called Kirby Goes to Mr. Beast Burgers. Now, it's kind of simple. If you don't know what Mr. Beast Burger is, well, welcome to YouTube, I guess. But yeah, so pretty simple, self-explanatory title. The controls are kind of simple, you know, left, right. It's 3 parts, it's 3 games, you know, kind of as one, you know, a typical Game Builder Garage game with a bit of story attached to it. So yeah, that's mostly it. Unfortunately, I had a few problems trying to progress to the next level where you actually go into the burger place and get the Mr. Beast burger. Namely the fact that apparently I couldn't go in and grab and get in through the door, so that's basically impossible. So otherwise, yeah. So as for a review, I'm gonna have to give that a 8 out of 10, unfortunately, because I couldn't really get to the rest of the game. So our next game is a game called Empty City. Now, this is a very weird but cool one, and nonetheless, basically, you're in some kind of city, but you have to leave by train. Now, unfortunately, the only way you can actually get on this train is if you have some kind of tool. That's all the game gives you in terms of things to really go off of. As for clues on actually how to kind of beat the game at this point. So it does make for a bit of a challenge. There's a lot of you have to figure it out yourself, and I quite like these kinds of games. I'm going to have to give that a good 9.5 out of 10. A lot of the controls work out. I like the sense of mystery that this game applies to a few things. I think the art is pretty okayish. But otherwise, yeah, the only problem I could really find is that it's just, there's a lot of things where it's like, is this the tool? Is this not the tool? What tool are we talking about, kind of thing. So, you know, these were a bit... Now the next game on our list is a game called Find the Easter Eggys, which is a bit holiday themed. I mean, I'm literally releasing this on Easter weekend, so it kind of makes sense that it's here. And the game's pretty simple. You find Easter eggs. It's an Easter egg hunt. Instead, the developer mentioned something very, very intriguing in the description. Notably the fact that it was actually inspired by a Roblox game called Find the Markers, which is a game that I've played quite a few times on Roblox. In fact, I'm going to probably pop some footage up here. And so yeah. But unlike Find the Markers, where it's like 140 to collect, this is about 20 to collect. And what's really interesting is that the art of this world is pretty good. It's very colorful, it's very unique, it is very original, and I quite like it because of it. It's very diverse, and it's pretty good. So I'm going to have to give this a good 10 out of 10. It plays real well, and yeah. Alright, so the final game on our list of games is a game called Egg and Spoon Racing. Now, this was created for some game jam for Game Builder Garage games, which is pretty impressive. And it's a pretty good little game. So it's very heavy on the motion controls, is the first thing I noticed. And it's got a very simple premise. Basically, you kind of get an egg to the end. It's pretty simple. So, you know, just try and not drop an egg while you have it on a spoon. But yeah, it's really well made, very high quality. There's a lot of custom assets, and they're all pretty good, and I'm not mad at how this game is quality-wise. It's got a nice little bit of challenge added because of these motion controls, and you know what? I think I'm going to have to give this a 10 out of 10. It plays pretty well. It was a little hard to beat, but otherwise, pretty good game. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's video. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. I do a variety of things on this channel, not just these Game Builder Garage reviews. I do a few other things like 3D printing and even general programming for that matter. In fact, I've got a game that I'm probably going to release to playtesters at the end of this month that I've been working on with a friend and viewer of this channel. So if you want to kind of join the whole playtester group for this game, make sure you're subscribed so this way you can actually go and play it and be one of the first to play it and give your feedback to this game. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video off here. And yeah, and bye.